Welcome to today's episode of Tech Talk. I'm your host, and I'm really excited to dive into a fascinating subject that blends programming with visual flow-based development, erlang-red. It's a project aimed at replacing Node-RED's Node.js backend with Erlang, and it raises some intriguing questions about concurrency, usability, and programming languages. Are you ready? Let's jump right in. First off, let's talk about Node-RED. If you're not familiar, it's a visual programming tool that allows you to create flows for processing data in a user-friendly way. You can think of it as a toolbox where you drag and drop different components to build your application logic. Pretty neat, right? What's great about Node-RED is its extensibility. Developers can easily create new nodes, making it incredibly versatile. But here's the catch. Node.js, while popular, is fundamentally single-threaded. Now, imagine developing an application that needs to handle a lot of tasks simultaneously, like juggling 5 balls at once. Node.js might drop a few. That's where Erlang enters the picture. Designed for concurrent, distributed, and fault-tolerant systems, Erlang brings powerful multi-process capabilities to the game. So why not leverage Erlang's strengths in a tool like Node-RED? This vision leads us to erlang-red, a compatibility-focused project looking to harness Erlang's advantages while maintaining the ease of use of Node-RED. But here's a little twist. Achieving 100% compatibility with existing Node-RED flows isn't straightforward, especially a lot of functionality is tied to JavaScript. They're essentially two worlds colliding. Now, if you've ever tried to read Erlang code, you might be thinking, this looks like it's just a bit complicated. That's kind of the point. Erlang can be quite esoteric to newcomers, often needing some prior experience with functional programming languages like Prolog or Lisp. The beauty of erlang-red lies in the desire to make this powerful programming style accessible through visual, low-code development. Imagine being able to tap into Erlang's concurrency while still enjoying the simplicity of dragging and dropping user interface elements. To develop erlang-red, the team adopted a flow-driven development approach. It sounds fancy, but essentially, this means creating test flows to validate that each node behaves as expected. Think of it like testing your favorite recipe. If the dish doesn't turn out like you expected, you go back and tweak the ingredients, right? In this way, they ensure that each component remains functional over time. Speaking of components, the project boasts some interesting nodes like the catch node, which captures errors, and the delay node, which allows for static delays in message processing. However, some limitations do exist, such as dynamically setting certain parameters across nodes. Don't worry though, they're actively working on bridging these gaps. Now, you might be wondering about how this all translates to real-world applications. Let's go back to our juggling analogy. With erlang-red, each task can be handled as a separate process, which means the load can be evenly distributed without dropping any balls. This kind of architecture opens many doors for building highly scalable applications. And for those aiming to contribute, the doors are wide open. The team encourages contributions in Erlang code or even Node-RED test flows. Imagine a community coming together, each person building their little node, which ultimately contributes to the greater whole. A bit like a community garden, wouldn't you say? Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought. As technology advances, it often raises philosophical questions about complexity versus usability. In a world that demands speed and efficiency, how do we balance the need for powerful concurrent systems with the simplicity of use? Thanks for tuning in today. We've learned a lot about erlang-red and how it seeks to